Life has an extraordinary way of working in our favor when we choose to believe it will. Think about that for a moment, not as a wish, not as a dream, but as an absolute fact. I once met a man in Chicago who lost everything in a business venture. His factory burned down, insurance didn't cover the full loss, and his partners abandoned him. Most people would have given up. But this man did something remarkable. He showed up at his burned-down factory the very next morning dressed in his best suit and started making calls as if nothing could stop him. When asked why, he simply said, "I act as if everything always works out for me." Within 6 months, he had built an even bigger business. The simple truth is, your life moves in the direction of your strongest beliefs. Every single day, I witness people transforming their lives through this one powerful principle. It's not magic, and it's not complicated. It's a natural law as reliable as gravity. When you act as if everything works out for you, your mind becomes a magnet for opportunities. It's like turning on a bright light in a dark room. Suddenly you can see what was there all along. This isn't positive thinking. It's positive knowing. And there's a world of difference between the two. Right now, at this very moment, you hold the power to change everything. Not by hoping, not by wishing, but by acting as if your success is already certain. This is the secret that every successful person has discovered, whether they realized it or not. Look at nature. A seed doesn't worry about whether it will become a tree. It simply grows, following its internal programming. Birds don't fret about whether they can fly. They spread their wings and soar. This same natural law applies to human achievement. When you act as if success is inevitable, you align yourself with the natural order of growth and achievement. Your mind works exactly like the most sophisticated computer ever created. When you program it with certainty, it starts finding ways to make that certainty real. Scientists at major universities have proven that our brains process over 2 million bits of information every second. But here's what's fascinating. We only consciously notice the things that match our expectations. This is why two people can look at the same situation and see completely different things. Let me tell you about a study conducted at Harvard Business School. They followed 100 salespeople over 1 year. The researchers found that the top performers weren't necessarily the ones with the best techniques or the most experience. The main difference was their certainty about success. These top salespeople acted as if every call would work out in their favor. As a result, they heard opportunities in conversations where others heard rejection. I remember talking to Henry Ford's grandson. He told me something remarkable about his grandfather. During the Great Depression, when other car manufacturers were cutting back, Ford doubled his advertising budget. When asked why, he said, "I act as if people will keep buying cars." He understood this natural law of positive outcomes. While others saw scarcity, he saw opportunity. And he was right. Consider how this law works in your own life. When you walk into a room expecting people to like you, you naturally smile more, stand taller, and appear more approachable. These small changes create real results. It's not coincidence. It's cause and effect. The scientific basis for this goes even deeper. Researchers in quantum physics have shown that the mere act of observation affects the behavior of particles at the atomic level. In other words, the expectation of the observer influences the reality being observed. This same principle scales up to our daily lives. Thomas Edison understood this law perfectly. In his quest to create the light bulb, he tried over 10,000 different materials. When a reporter asked him how it felt to fail so many times, Edison replied, "I haven't failed. I've successfully found 10,000 materials that don't work." He acted as if success was inevitable, and history proves he was right. Modern brain scanning technology shows us something remarkable. When you act as if something is certain, your brain creates new neural pathways to support that certainty. It's like your mind paves new roads to your desired destination. The more you use these pathways, the stronger they become. This natural law operates whether you're aware of it or not. The only question is whether you'll use it intentionally. Every successful person I've met in the past 40 years has applied this law, even if they called it by a different name. Some call it confidence, others call it faith, but the principle remains the same. Act as if your success is certain, and your mind will find a way to make it so. Think of an Olympic athlete. Long before they win medals, they act as if they're champions. They train like champions, eat like champions, and think like champions. This isn't pretending. It's aligning themselves with the natural law of positive outcomes. Their success isn't just physical preparation. It's the natural result of acting as if success is inevitable. The first pillar of acting, as if everything works out, is unwavering faith. Now, I'm not talking about blind optimism or wishful thinking. I'm talking about a rock-solid certainty that good outcomes are natural and normal for you. This kind of faith isn't something you hope for. It's something you know in your bones. Breathing. You don't worry about your next breath. You don't wonder if air will be available. You simply know it will be there. This is the kind of certainty I'm talking about. When you have this level of faith in good outcomes, your entire nervous system relaxes. Your mind becomes clear. Your decisions improve. I once knew a woman who started a business during a recession. Everyone told her she was crazy. The market was down, spending was low, and most businesses were closing. But she had this unwavering faith that it would work out. He told me, the economy might be having a recession, but I'm not. Within 18 months, her business was thriving, serving clients who were eager for her innovative approach. This kind of faith doesn't ignore problems. It transcends them. It's like driving through fog. You might not see the whole road, but you have absolute faith that the road continues. This faith keeps you moving forward when others pull over and wait. The second pillar is taking action despite uncertainty. This is where most people get stuck. They wait for perfect conditions. They wait for guarantees. They wait for someone to tell them it's safe to proceed. But here's the truth. The people who succeed are the ones who act while others wait. Let me tell you about a young man I met in Dallas. He wanted to start an online business, but had no experience in technology. Instead of waiting until he knew enough, he started right where he was. He learned as he went. He made mistakes, fixed them, and kept moving forward. Today, his company serves clients in 27 countries. He didn't wait for certainty. He created it through action. Taking action doesn't mean being reckless. It means moving forward with purpose, learning from each step, and adjusting your course as needed. It's like walking through a dark room with your hands out in front of you. You're careful, but you're moving. You're gathering information through action. I remember talking to a successful real estate investor. She told me I never feel completely ready when I make a deal, but I've learned that action creates clarity. The more I act, the clearer things become. This is a perfect example of taking action despite uncertainty. The third pillar is maintaining composure during challenges. This might be the most important pillar of all. Anyone can stay positive when things are going well. The real test comes when you face obstacles. Your composure during difficulties shows how deeply you've embraced this principle of acting as if everything works out. Consider a surgeon during a complicated operation. If unexpected complications arise, the surgeon doesn't panic. They maintain their composure because they act as if a successful outcome is certain. This same principle applies to every area of your life. I remember a conversation with a top executive during a company crisis. The stock was down, morale was low, and problems were piling up. But when I walked into his office, he was completely calm. He told me, I've learned that my level of composure sets the tone for the entire organization. When I act as if we'll overcome this challenge, others begin to believe it too. Within a year, the company had not only recovered, but was stronger than ever. Maintaining composure doesn't mean suppressing emotions. It means channeling them productively. When challenges arise, see them as opportunities to demonstrate your faith in good outcomes. Let your composure be a testament to your certainty. These three pillars work together. Your unwavering faith leads to action. Your actions build evidence that strengthens your faith, and your composure during challenges proves that your faith is real. It's a self-reinforcing cycle that gets stronger with use. Learning to ride a bicycle. You need faith that you can do it. You need to take action by getting on the bike, and you need to maintain composure when you wobble. All three elements work together to create success. The same principle applies in business. You need faith in your product or service, you need to take action to bring it to market, and you need to maintain composure when facing competition or setbacks. One without the others isn't enough. In relationships, you need faith that you deserve good connections. You need to take action to meet and interact with people. And you need to maintain composure when dealing with relationship challenges. These three pillars support all areas of life. The beauty of these pillars is that they strengthen each other. When you maintain composure during a challenge, it builds your faith. When your faith is strong, taking action becomes natural. When you take action and see results, maintaining composure becomes easier. The size of your success will be determined by how well you implement these three pillars. Your unwavering faith sets your direction. Your willingness to take action determines your speed, and your composure during challenges determines how far you'll go. Each day brings opportunities to practice these pillars. Each challenge is a chance to demonstrate your faith. Each uncertainty is an invitation to take action, and each problem is an opportunity to show your composure. Your mind is like a garden. It will grow whatever you plant in it. Right now, today, you can begin rewiring your mind to automatically expect good outcomes. This isn't something that happens by accident. It happens through consistent, deliberate practice. Start your day with this simple but powerful routine. The moment you open your eyes, before your feet touch the floor, say these words. Today, everything works in my favor. Say it with conviction. Feel the truth of it in your body. This simple practice sets your mental frequency for the entire day. I know a banker who transformed his career with a morning mirror practice. Every morning, he looks in the mirror and speaks to himself as if he's already achieved his goals. He doesn't say, I hope things work out. Instead, he says, things always work out for me. I am a magnet for success. Opportunities find me easily. Within 6 months of starting this practice, he was promoted twice. Throughout your day, watch yourself talk like a hawk. When challenges arise, and they will notice your immediate mental response. Most people automatically ask, why is this happening to me? Train yourself to ask instead, how is this working out for my benefit? This simple shift rewires your neural pathways. Create what I call success triggers in your environment. Put notes where you'll see them regularly. On your mirror, your desk, your car dashboard. Simple phrases like everything works out or I expect good things might seem small, but they're constantly programming your subconscious mind. Your evening routine is just as crucial. Before you sleep, review your day, looking specifically for evidence that things work out for you. Find at least 3 examples, no matter how small. Maybe someone held a door for you, or you found a parking spot easily, or a meeting went better than expected. This trains your mind to notice positive patterns. A successful entrepreneur I know keeps what she calls a works out well journal. Every evening, she writes down 3 ways things worked out for her that day. She's been doing this for 5 years. She told me when I read back through my journal, I'm amazed at how consistently things work out in my favor. It's built on unshakable confidence in good outcomes. Your brain has something called a reticular activating system. It's like a filter that determines what you notice in your environment. When you consistently act as if everything works out, you program this system to notice opportunities and positive outcomes. It's like tuning a radio to pick up a specific frequency. Develop the habit of speaking about future events as if positive outcomes are certain. Instead of saying, I hope this works out, say, this is working out perfectly. Instead of I'll try, say I'll do it. These aren't just word games. They're instructions to your subconscious mind. Create mental movies of positive outcomes. Before any important event, a meeting, a presentation, a conversation, take a few minutes to see it going perfectly in your mind. Feel the satisfaction of things working out well. Your brain can't tell the difference between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. A technique I've taught to thousands is what I call the good news exercise. Whenever you hear bad news, immediately ask yourself, what's the good news about this? Train your mind to find the benefit in every situation. This isn't denial. It's choosing where to put your mental focus. Make gratitude a daily practice. Each night before bed, list 5 things you're grateful for. This trains your mind to notice what's working well in your life. The more you notice what's working, the more things tend to work out. Another powerful practice is what I call future memory. Pick a time in the future, say 6 months from now, and write a detailed description of how things worked out perfectly. Write it in past tense, as if it's already happened. Read this daily. Your subconscious mind will start creating ways to make this memory real. Remember, these aren't just nice ideas. They're practical tools for rewiring your neural pathways. Each time you practice these techniques, you strengthen the circuits in your brain that expect positive outcomes. It's like building a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. The key is consistency. It's better to spend 5 minutes each day on these practices than 5 hours once a month. Small, consistent actions create lasting changes in your neural wiring. Every time you catch yourself thinking negatively and redirect a positive expectation, you're building new neural pathways. Let's talk about how this principle of acting as if everything works out applies in the real world, where the rubber meets the road. In business, this principle becomes your secret weapon. I remember a small business owner in Seattle who faced a major crisis, and her biggest client suddenly canceled. Instead of panicking, she acted as if this was the best thing that could have happened. She immediately started calling potential clients she'd been too busy to pursue before. Within 30 days, she had 3 new clients, each bigger than the one she lost. Take negotiations. When you walk into a negotiation, acting as if a positive outcome is certain. Your body language changes, your voice carries more authority, and people respond differently to you. A real estate developer I know never enters a deal worrying about whether it will work out. He told me I act as if every deal will benefit everyone involved. This mindset helps me find solutions others miss. In sales, this principle is pure gold. A car salesman broke every record in his dealership by acting as if each person walking through the door was meant to find their perfect car that day. He didn't pressure anyone. He simply maintained absolute certainty that things would work out perfectly for everyone involved. His customers felt this certainty and responded to it. Personal relationships. Acting as if everything works out transforms how you interact with others. Instead of approaching relationships with fear or doubt, you move forward with calm certainty. When you act as if every interaction will be positive, you become more open, more authentic, and more attractive to others. I know a woman who was divorced after 20 years of marriage. Instead of becoming bitter, she acted as if this change would lead to something wonderful. She focused on personal growth, tried new activities, and stayed open to possibilities. Within a year, she had built a rich social life and eventually met someone who shared her values and interests. In families, this principle works wonders. Parents who act as if their children will turn out well, while still maintaining appropriate guidance, often see their expectations fulfilled. They handle challenges with calm confidence instead of anxiety, which creates a more positive environment for growth. When it comes to health and wellness, acting as if everything works out doesn't mean ignoring medical advice or being reckless. It means maintaining an unshakable belief in your body's ability to heal and thrive. A cancer survivor once told me his doctors were amazed by his recovery. His secret, he acted as if his recovery was certain, following every treatment with absolute faith in a positive outcome. Consider exercise and diet. When you act as if your healthy choices are already creating positive results, you're more likely to stick with them. Instead of weighing yourself anxiously, act as if your body is already becoming healthier and stronger. This mindset makes healthy choices feel natural rather than forced. A fitness trainer, helps clients transform their bodies by first transforming their mindset. She has them act as if they're already fit and healthy. This changes how they carry themselves, what foods they naturally choose, and how they approach exercise. The physical changes follow the mental shifts. In financial matters, this principle is particularly powerful. When you act as if financial success is natural for you, you make different decisions. You spot opportunities others miss. You handle money with greater wisdom. A young investor I know started with almost nothing but acted as if he was already financially successful. He educated himself about money, made careful decisions, and consistently invested what he could. 10 years later, his net worth proved his approach worked. This doesn't mean taking foolish risks. It means making decisions from a position of calm confidence, rather than fear. When the stock market drops, those who act as if their investments will grow long-term make wiser choices than those who panic. I know a couple who started saving for retirement late in life. Instead of despairing, they acted as if they would find ways to catch up. This mindset led them to discover opportunities for additional income, learn about investments, and make smart choices with their resources. Within 5 years, they had accumulated more than they thought possible. This principle even works in challenging economic times. During recessions, while others cut back on everything, successful businesses often maintain or even increase their marketing and development efforts. They act as if growth is inevitable and often emerge stronger when the economy improves. In job searches and career changes, acting as if everything works out helps you present yourself more effectively. Instead of hoping someone will hire you, act as if you're exactly what employers are looking for. This confidence shows in interviews and networking conversations. A laid-off executive used this principle to land an even better position. Instead of feeling devastated, He acted as if his job loss was opening the door to something better. He approached his job search with confidence, had better interviews, and eventually found a role that paid more and offered better opportunities. In creative pursuits, this principle unleashes your full potential. Writers who act as if their words will find the perfect audience write more freely. Artists who act as if their work will be appreciated create more authentically. Musicians who act as if their music will touch hearts perform with greater passion. The key in all these areas is consistency. You can't just act as if everything works out when things are easy. The real power comes from maintaining this mindset, especially when facing challenges. It's about making this your default operating system, not just a technique you use occasionally. Remember, this isn't about pretending problems don't exist. It's about maintaining an unshakable certainty that every situation, properly handled, leads to positive outcomes. This certainty affects how you perceive challenges, how you respond to them, and ultimately, how they turn out. Let me be clear. This isn't just positive thinking. It's positive acting. It's about aligning your actions, your words, and your expectations with the certainty that things work out. When you do this consistently across all areas of life, you create a momentum that carries you towards success almost automatically. Just as money compounds in a bank account, your habit of acting as if everything works out compounds daily. Each small choice, each moment of maintained certainty builds upon the last. It's like laying one brick at a time. Seemingly insignificant in a moment, but over time, you've built something remarkable. Water flowing over rock, one drop doesn't make much difference, but consistent flow over time carves grand canyons. Your daily choice to act as if everything works out has the same powerful effect on your life circumstances. Let me share something fascinating about success patterns. A study of Olympic athletes showed that their biggest achievements weren't the result of major breakthroughs, but rather the compound effect of small daily decisions. Each time they chose to train when they didn't feel like it. Each time they maintained their diet when tempted to break it. Each time they acted as if their gold medal was certain. These small choices compounded into championship performances. I know a businessman who started applying this principle 5 years ago. His first step was small. He simply began each day by acting as if good things would happen. He didn't change anything else at first. But that one small shift led him to smile more at work, which led to better relationships with colleagues, which led to more opportunities, which led to promotions. Today, he runs the entire division. Not because of one big change, but because of the compound effect of daily choosing to expect positive outcomes. The momentum builds naturally when you stay consistent. It's like pushing a heavy flywheel. At first, it takes enormous effort just to get a little movement. But with each push, the wheel moves more easily. Keep pushing, and eventually the wheel's own momentum helps it turn. Your habit of acting as if everything works out follows the same principle. A teacher I know started small. She simply began acting as if each student would succeed, no matter their current performance. At first, nothing seemed to change, but she stayed consistent. Day after day, week after week, she maintained this certainty. Gradually, her students began responding. Their confidence grew. Their grades improved. By year's end, her class had the highest improvement rate in the school. Here's what most people miss about the compound effect. It works in reverse, too. Each time you act as if things won't work out, that also compounds. Each negative expectation builds upon the last, creating a downward spiral that gains momentum over time. The beautiful thing about the compound effect is that it doesn't require massive effort. It requires consistency. Small actions maintained over time create massive results. Acting as if everything works out, practiced consistently, becomes a powerful force in your life. Consider your interactions with others. Each time you act as if an interaction will be positive, you show up differently. Over time, this compounds into stronger relationships, better opportunities, and expanded influence. People begin to associate you with positive outcomes. Remember this key truth. The long-term impact of your daily choices far exceeds their immediate effect. When you act as if everything works out, you're not just affecting today. You're creating ripples that will impact your life for years to come. Start small, but stay consistent. Let the compound effect work in your favor. Watch as each small choice to maintain positive expectations builds upon the last, creating a momentum that carries you toward ever greater success. But time to begin is now. Not tomorrow, not when conditions are perfect, but right now, in this moment. Your life is moving in some direction. Why not choose to move it toward positive outcomes through this one powerful decision to act as if everything works out for you? Let me share one final story that shows the pure power of this principle. I met a young woman in Miami last year. She had lost her job, her savings were depleted, and she was facing eviction. But instead of giving in to despair, she made a decision that changed everything. She started acting as if this was the perfect time to start the business she'd been dreaming about. With her last $100, she printed business cards and started networking. She carried herself as if success was certain. She spoke about her business as if it was already thriving. When people asked how she could start a business in her situation, she simply said, "Everything always works out for me." Within 60 days, she had her first 3 clients. Within 6 months, she had to hire help. Today, just 1 year later, her company serves clients in 5 states. She told me recently, "I realized I had nothing to lose by acting as if everything would work out perfectly." That decision changed everything. You have this same power available to you right now. Your circumstances don't matter. Your past doesn't matter. What matters is your decision this moment to act as if everything works out for you. Start with your very next action. The next person you meet, act as if that interaction will work out perfectly. The next challenge you face, act as if it's bringing you something valuable. The next opportunity that appears, act as if it's meant for you. Your future is created by your actions today, not by your hopes, not by your wishes, but by your actions. When you act as if everything works out for you, you set in motion forces that make that expectation real. Make your commitment now. Decide that from this moment forward, you will act as if everything works out for you. Watch as your world begins to transform, as opportunities appear, as solutions emerge, as success becomes your natural state. The choice is yours. The time is now. Everything works out for those who act as if it will.
Thank you for watching. Share this with friends and family, and please subscribe.